Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
When Japanese warplanes swooped out of the sky and demolished the U.S. fleet at Pearl Harbor, Jerry Metzger's life, along with millions of others, changed forever.
It sure did. I was due to get out in March of '42.
Instead of going home after 4 years in the Navy, he went to war. His ship, the USS Clark, left California on a mission to Hawaii.
So right away we took the convoy of merchant ships loaded with yard workmen and supplies, medical supplies, back to Pearl. When we got there, we saw the destruction. It's terrible. Ships turned with, you could see their keel turned up, clear upside down. It was awful.
From Pearl Harbor, Metzger's warships set out into the Pacific with a group of aircraft carriers to defend them in battle. The thunderous noise from bombs and machine guns rocked the engine room where he worked.
Then when they dropped depth charges, it would almost raise the stern of the ship up and back down again.
Pilots, man your planes. Pilots, man your planes.
Protecting aircraft carriers like the USS Yorktown was a dangerous job. They were a prime target of Japanese torpedoes and kamikaze dive bombers. More than 100 U.S. planes could take off or land from the carrier's short runway, just seconds apart. That made the flight deck a hazardous place to be. The crew on Metzger's ship pulled some of the downed pilots to safety.
They usually called out on the wing, and it didn't sink right away. So we had time to pick them up. And even if they came in and managed to hit the cable and land, they would push the destroyed plane right over the side and bring up a new one.
During this mad aerial scramble, Metzger says he focused on his job rather than the fear of what was happening around him.
You never knew when you were going to be sunk also. It's always a worry.
Ultimately, in June of 1942, the USS Yorktown did sink. Metzger's crew rescued some of the survivors in the water, covered in oil.
It went down so fast. The bomb evidently went through the deck and hit the ammunition compartment. Just blew it apart.
More than 11,000 seamen died in the war in the Pacific. After 8 years on the USS Clark, Jerry Metzger, promoted to Chief Petty Officer, finally made it home in 1946. He and his wife, who died in 2004, raised 3 children in Arvada. He stays in touch with his Navy buddies, although now in their 90s, the reunions get smaller. But the recognition he sometimes gets for his service means a lot to him, especially a trip to Washington, D.C. on Veterans Day.
They would come over and shake your hand. Even kids, children would come over, shake your hands and thank you. It was very nice. I'm proud of the ship and proud of being in the Navy. Yes, I am.